Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to yet another Halal Food Podcast. Today we've got an important person in the global halal arena from SMIIC, Dr. Ali Alsheikh. So I'm going to invite Dr. Ali to introduce himself so that we can start the conversation. So Dr. Ali.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Salam to all people who attend this podcast. My name is Mohammed Ali Alsheikh. I am doctor in clinical pharmacy. I'm working in SMIIC from 6 years. I have PhD in clinical pharmacy, pharmaceutical technology master degree, and I'm working in SMIIC as technical assistant for the Halal Food, Halal Cosmetic, and Halal Pharmaceutical technical committees. So this is my work now at these days.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Ali. That you working in a very important aspect of halal, which we don't normally hear about. So pharmaceutical. So I've got a quick question for you on pharmaceutical. Do you think everything about pharmacy is halal, or some products are halal and some products are not halal?
As usual, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the majority of the thing halal, and the haram is limited. No. So the majority of the medicine are halal. Some of them are non-halal. And our duty as Muslim to look for the halal and avoid the non-halal for cosmetic, for food, and for pharmaceuticals.
That is very important. So in the UK, I live in the UK, and in the UK sometimes we face a lot of challenges as parents when our children are in school, when there is time for vaccinations. Some Muslims in the UK have opted not to vaccinate, not to take flu vaccinations and other vaccinations because these vaccinations have got porcine in them. Now, from your experience as somebody who works at the higher level and also somebody with a background in pharmacy, do you think Muslims should be concerned about using vaccines that have got pork in it? If yes, under what conditions should we accept such vaccines?
Yes. First of all, vaccine is very fine industry, very complicated industry, and it should be free from the majority of the waste of the cells during the production. If there is anything, we have many purification process during making the vaccine. So we will not have big molecules from the pigs. We will have small molecules and some proteins sometimes. And if you study the majority of the vaccine around the world, the majority of them is considered halal. Okay. But we will have problem in the culture media that we use it. We will have problem in the enzyme that we use it. Some of them, the enzyme is come from non-halal sources. So if you look for the ingredient, the majority of them is halal. And the fatwa is clear. For medicine use, for vaccination use, since this vaccination will protect a lot of disease, and some of them is life-saving disease, this life-threatening disease. So we should take the vaccine for our children, and it's our responsibility. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this children as amana with this father. So he should take the maximum, efforts to ensure that his amana in good hand and in good health. So as if I am a parent in non-Muslim country, there is fatwa from all scholars and from the highest fiqh academy around the world that still that you can use vaccine with porcine inside it. So there is no any doubt for anyone to stop vaccination of his child if there is porcine or not.
That is a very critical point that you've mentioned. So you said in your introduction that you work for SMIIC. SMIIC is linked to OIC. Now, the standards that you produce are used mainly by OIC countries. Now, if a non-OIC country like the UK wants to adopt your standards, how do they do that? What's the process?
Like in the ISO standard, SMIIC is international standard. It will be adopted by OIC and non-OIC if they want to adopt. So we have a guide document in our website, in SMIC website. In this guide document, anyone who want to adopt SMIC standard, any government, they can send official letter to the SMIC General Secretariat, and they tell us what's the differentiation, if they want to do some deviation from the standard, if they want to edit some lines. So they discuss with the SMIC General Secretariat, and adoption will be accepted generally in these things. So it's a small process, but it should be documented, because the one who adopted the standard, he can sell the standard. So this is why we have this guide. It's available in our website in the CIMIC guidelines.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Ali. And it's also very good to know that Muslims around the world are making efforts to produce standards that will guide processes of pharmaceutical products or food, so that we can continue to produce, or we can continue to consume foods that are consistent with our religious rules. So thank you very much for that explanation. Now my next question to you is on cosmetics. So we'll be moving between pharmaceutical and cosmetics. In terms of cosmetics, we don't consume it. Most of the cosmetic products we use, we don't actually consume it into our body. Can we assume that all cosmetic products that are used externally are halal because we don't consume it? I just want you to clarify that for our listeners.
No, you cannot say like this. It's more relaxed when you use cosmetics, because
Mhm.
some chemicals, some ingredients which consider uh, prohibited in food, we can use it in cosmetics. For example, ethanol. Ethanol, 100% we cannot use it in food, but we can use it externally for cosmetics. So
Oh.
I can use perfume with ethanol. I can use some lotion with ethanol. So this is okay. Insect, for example, insect coloring agent. In food, we don't allow in CIMIC to use insect color, which made from insect itself. But in cosmetics, we allow. But still, we have problem. If it's from porcine and if it's from najis material, you cannot use it even outside. So when we describe the material as not halal, as najis, we cannot use it in our cosmetics. So and we have a lot of chemicals like this, not the majority, but we have a lot of chemicals like this. We need to avoid it as Muslim. CIMIC is TC2, Technical Committee number 2, is working on standard now to make a list of doubtful materials
Yeah.
which contain this najis material, and the list until now is contain 250 chemicals, 300 chemicals. It's a small number comparing to the few thousand chemicals in cosmetic industry.
That's You've mentioned another very very important point. You said about the use of ethanol externally, that is alcohol. Now during COVID and even prior to COVID, there were a lot of discussions within the UK about some Muslims refusing to use hand sanitizers that have got alcohol in it. What's the SMIC standards position on the use? I know you've already mentioned it, but I just want you to clarify it. If a hand sanitizer has got over 50% of ethanol, is it acceptable to use it externally on your body to hand sanitize yourself? What's, from your expert opinion and also from the standards that you produce, what's the position of SMIC,
Okay.
a Muslim using such a product?
Yes. Let me tell you how we decide the the Islamic rules about our standards. So this is Islamic issues, not technical issues.
Okay.
And our standard have two parts. One of them is technical. Another part is about the Sharia and halal and non-halal. In
Mhm.
CIMIC, there is many madhab around the Muslim world,
Yeah.
and every madhab have different opinion. In this issue, for example, ethanol, some madhab consider ethanol as najis. This is why you cannot put it outside externally. Another madhab consider it as tahir. So we are speaking about najis and tahir. CIMIC, following the majority common opinion about the fiqh madhab, they
Yeah.
come and discuss, all countries come and discuss. And in fiqh issues, we follow the Islamic Fiqh Academy. The Islamic Fiqh Academy in Jeddah is another OIC organization. It's the highest level for governmental fiqh people who come and make meeting in Jeddah and in other countries from time to time, and they make resolution. they do what we call it al-ijtihad al-jama'i. They make ijtihad in these new issues and they decide. So we follow the Islamic Fiqh Academy fatwa, which said alcohol is tahir. So we can use it externally in cosmetic. But in food, we have another hukum, because the Islamic rule changed from one thing to another thing. So
Yeah.
in food, there is something, in cosmetic, another thing, in pharmaceutical, another thing. So in cosmetic, we are following the Islamic Fiqh Academy, which says alcohol is tahir. So we can use it. But for these Muslims who don't want to use alcohol, we have something we call it claims or logos in the cosmetic standard. So I can see alcohol free. So we make in our standard halal claims. If you claim about alcohol to be halal, alcohol free, you should do 1, 2, 3. So also this one is available in our standard. There
Yeah.
is one more thing.
Yeah.
A lot of the hand sanitizer using isopropyl alcohol, which is another type, not ethanol, which is considered tahir by all schools of fiqh. So ethanol is the critical one. Another type of alcohol, it's tahir in all methods.
Yeah, it's good you also explain the different types of alcohol, brother Dr. Mohammed Ali, because some, as a lay person on the street, if you say this product has got alcohol in it, as a Muslim, he will become very conscious about it. But we also know that some of these alcohol in hand sanitizers are denatured alcohol. So it's good that you took your time to explain is that it's not just ethanol or that is in the in hand sanitizer, but it's a different form of alcohol as well. So thank
Yeah,
you very
if we
much.
use isopropyl, for example,
Yeah,
all fiqh school will say it's tahir,
yeah,
and the majority said it's tahir. So
nice.
for this, some people, maybe we can do some modification in our formula. This is what we do in gargles, in this medical gargles, which we use it for teeth hygiene.
Okay,
When they said it's alcohol free, they use another type of alcohol. They don't use ethanol. They use another type of alcohol.
okay. Again, I'm just gonna ask you another question on now. Let's move to hygiene products. So, for instance, if we're talking about toothpaste and other products, from halal perspective, if I go to a shop to buy myself a toothpaste to for oral hygiene purposes, should I be concerned of any non-halal products in it? Is there should I be concerned or all toothpaste will be halal?
Yeah, you should be concerned. It's
Okay.
the majority of the toothpaste contains some material which considered as doubtful, and a lot of them use gelatin. Some of them they use some other material which is non-halal, so we cannot use it in easily. Actually, the toothpaste and healthcare product classified as cosmetic in
Yeah.
SMIIC standard.
Yeah.
So it's covered under the cosmetic standard. We have SMIIC 4 standard, and this standard, alhamdulillah, now it's almost 5 years when we publish the standard, so it will be
Understood.
revised now, and we hope that many countries will adopt in this new version, inshallah.
Yeah. You see, Dr. Ali, it's going to be a big concern for most Muslims because many Muslims living, so people living in Saudi Arabia, for instance, when they go into a shop, at least they know the products have gone through some form of halal certification. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe. But for those of us living in non-Muslim countries, going to buy a toothpaste, yeah, you just mentioned about gelatin. What precautions do you think Muslims should make? Should they look for products that haven't got this type of risky products, or is there any vegan or vegetarian options for toothpaste? And from your experience, do you think there are things like that so that Muslims living in Muslim and non-Muslim majority countries can at least try their best to comply with the halal requirements in terms of toothpaste?
The best thing is to buy something halal certified from
Okay.
any trusted certification organization.
Yeah.
This is the best option because you know that there is some hidden ingredient
Yeah. Yeah.
in the chemicals. So they write some chemicals, but sometimes officially when the chemical is less than percentage, so you cannot write it or you should not write it in the label.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the best option. Second option is to look for the vegan in general, vegan certificate,
Yeah.
because yani, you will be sure that there is no animal product, but
Product.
you may have some alcohol and some other things, which is sometimes it's not okay for food, for example.
Yeah.
And the last option is to read the ingredient, and you have this kind of application which tell you the doubtful material. So if you use good application, not any application, if
Yeah.
you use good application which tell you, and you make sure that there is no doubtful material in all of the ingredient, then you can buy. But you should know that if you are living in Europe country, you are not like tourist.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the first week you don't have the option. Second week, okay, we give you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But then you are residents in this country. You should
Yeah.
find solution. You should order from one place. You should find solution. This is the difficulty. You should take it as Muslim person. And when you find the solution, you tell your friends about this solution. So the community will help each other.
I'm happy you mentioned that, Dr. Muhammad Ali, because look, Muslims living in countries where it's difficult to find halal, we should not just sit idle. We need to make an effort to find the right product so that when we find it, we can then tell our brothers and sisters about what is available out there.
I'll tell you something. Can
Yeah.
give example. When I live in Malaysia, first 2 months, I think that there is no Arabic food. It's very difficult to find Arabic ingredients, and I feel like lonely. I cannot eat the Malaysian food at the beginning when I travel there. So I
Yeah.
have problem with this one. After a few months, I discovered that everything is there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you need to search. You need
Yeah.
after
Absolutely.
some time you will find some shop, you will find some restaurant,
Mhm.
and this is the situation in Muslim people with in non-OIC countries. You should find your people, you make your connection, because also they will get benefit. There is some trader who is building their trade on your needs.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Another point you made is that if a consumer can look for the halal certification logo, but you didn't just say halal certification logo, you said halal certification logo of a reputable or a good certification body. How can a consumer know which one is good and which one is bad? That's my first question. The next question is, you have been in the industry for a while now. What ways do you think we should do to improve professionalism in halal certification? So first of all, how can an ordinary consumer know which certification body is good? Secondly, how do you think certification bodies should do, maybe in standardization, in auditing, in the way they present themselves to improve professionalism, so that even non-Muslims will have trust in what we do?
Okay, this is difficult question. Okay, how to know this certification body is good? Yani,
Yeah,
as Muslim consumer, I'll give you some hint.
yeah,
Number one, look for their website, see their website,
yeah,
and in the website you will find information about their customers, yeah, their famous company which gets certificate from this halal certification bodies. And if this country is يعني the company which gets certificate from this company export to Muslim countries. For example, I have this company, they have this logo, and they have many, they have company A, B, C,
yeah,
and they export to Saudi Arabia, they export to Egypt, they export to India, to Pakistan, to the Muslim countries. Okay, this is give me indication that they are a good certification body. If they are recognized by some countries like Malaysia, like Indonesia, like GSO countries, this is also give us some indication. It's if it's accreditation from organization related to the halal, this one will give me also an indication. So I should go to the website, see to which country they export, yani their customer to which country they export. This one will give me good indication about them. I should do some investigation about them.
yeah, yeah,
If they have some famous people, if they have some what call it, they go to the Muslim conferences, they have some activities in the halal field. Directly, you will know this is good one or uh, they just started about this one.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Brother Ali.
About the other question was about
How they can improve the processes so that people can have trust in us.
yes. Now all of them have good intention. The majority of the halal certification bodies have good intention. They are good Muslim people. Some of them from local mosques, some of them from non-profit organization. So they want to help their Muslim community in non-OIC countries and do business at the same time. This is good, and we should encourage them and we should support them to cover this point. But they need to add plus this good intention
Yeah,
some professionalism in their work.
correct.
So the professionalism will be a good staff who have good experience about auditing and standards.
Okay.
How to do what's the food safety standard, what's the cosmetic standard, what's the pharmaceutical standard, and they have some auditing experience. So if they find this staff, the work will be good, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ali. So, look, this is an exciting podcast. I like the way we've touched on very, very key topics, but I think I'll have to bring you back again at some point because most of the things you talk about are very important to people, Muslims living in everywhere in the world. So my next question, but I once again I want you to come back again. We'll have to keep going. We have to keep doing this in a series because look, I want to speak to people like you, but I need people who have got the time to speak to us from time to time, so that the Muslim Ummah and even non-Muslims can benefit from what we are doing. My next question is in terms of I think we can classify these ones as I don't know whether cosmetics as well, things that we use on our body. For instance, belts, shoes, and other things. Should we be worried about wearing a shoe that is coming from an animal that is slaughtered non-halal, or a pig skin, something that is coming from not necessarily pig skin, but any ingredient or any derivatives from pigs that is in the shoes or in the belts that we wear? Should we be concerned?
Yes, actually, this one is not classified as cosmetic; it's personal goods. And we have SMIIC 37 standard about this issue. So Alhamdulillah, we have now 20 standard about halal
Ooh.
issues, and we have another 14 project. So inshallah, in the next few years, we will have another 14 standards. Alhamdulillah, SMIIC now start to have some unique standard which we developed for the first time. So in this SMIIC 37, for example, it's give you all halal related issues for bone materials, the material which is made from bone, because sometimes we have dishes made from bone and from leather and from hair of the animal. Okay, and in this standard they give all details. Actually, you should what you call it,
Worry.
be aware about this one
Yeah.
because wearing shoes from big is not accepted in all fiqh school. It's less. I cannot say to the people it's there is a lot of things. No, alhamdulillah, the majority of the shoes around the world is from the cow skin, not from the big skin. Some bags made from the big skin. So yes, you should be aware about this one. Also, the belt, you should be aware about this one. And in SMIIC standard, we mentioned all of the rules. Some madhab, they said even the cow or the skin should be slaughtered according to the Islamic rules. Some other madhab, which is the majority,
Yeah.
they said even if it's slaughtered non according to the Islamic way, but you do the chemical process which make it clean, then you can use it. So in SMIIC, we accept both of them, and it should be mentioned in the label that this is from this skin and this is from this skin. So even if you are from another madhab, which is don't allow halal slaughtering, you can read it on the label.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
But
very much.
people should be aware. And now there is an interesting project in SMIC to make test for the skin of the leather in laboratory by microscope to know if it's from big or
Okay.
non Yes.
Oh, mashallah, that's really good. That sounds like an exciting project. So now we've looked at vaccines, we've looked at hand sanitizers, we've looked at belts and things like that. What about capsules? Do you think if I go to buy a capsule from a pharmacy, what should I be concerned about in using capsules?
Yeah, يعني the majority of the capsules come from gelatin, and gelatin is very critical issue because the majority of the gelatin around the world come from porcine, not from bovine.
Huh.
So they make some research, for example, in Malaysia 10 years ago, and they find that 80% of the capsules in the market was from porcine at that time. Then
That's
they changed the rules and they make some law to make sure that what's called the imported capsule from outside the country shall be from bovine source, not porcine source. And this is the same law now available in Saudi Arabia, for example, in Jordan. Some countries they have this law. Before, this big company, for example, Pfizer, they have this medicine and they make it in America and they send it to Arab Muslim countries. So they should say that this is the capsule come from bovine, not from porcine. Okay, for Muslim in non-OIC countries,
yeah.
you should be aware about this one. You should read the ingredient. Uh, Take the bovine one. Even sometimes the bovine one is not slaughtered according to the Islamic way, but it's okay. And at this time, we can say it's okay. And if it's vegan capsule, it will be much better. Now the Muslim industry in gelatin increased. We have some good factories in Muslim countries. We have around 16 factories around the Muslim countries, OIC countries,
Yeah.
five in Pakistan, five in Turkey, and other countries, one factory in each country. So
Mashallah.
in general, yeah, the situation is improved, but it's good and it's good to check your capsule source before you consume the medicine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is going to be my last question. But as I said, it's getting interesting and interesting. And I will really, really want to invite you back after maybe, inshallah, next year in 2024. I'll invite you back to educate us again on some of these things. Now, what arguments some people, when it comes to meat, for instance, where some people normally argue, they refer to Surah Al-Ma'idah, Quran chapter 5, verse 3, where Allah has outlined what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. But at the end of the verse, it says, unless you are in desperation. So, for instance, unless things become very difficult for you. So, for instance, if your life is in danger, you have only access to certain non-halal products. I think in that case, you can use non-halal products to save your life. Is it applicable in pharmaceutical? And in pharmaceutical, under what condition? If I have a headache, can I just go and say, oh, I've got a headache, I'm gonna save my life, let me buy any paracetamol or any tablet at all, I will be fine? Is it applicable? Can you take your time and explain that for us?
Uh, Everything has limit. Everything has limit. Okay, and this rule is applicable in pharmacy, but all fiqh people who said this rule, they said it should be under the permission of a Muslim doctor or Muslim pharmacist, okay,
Okay.
who prescribe this medicine for you because you don't know about this medicine. You are not the professional one in the medicine. The person who is responsible about your medicine is your pharmacist or your doctor. Unfortunately, there is one point here. Even the Muslim doctor now, the good Muslim doctor, they don't have any idea about this medicine, how it's made.
Oh,
Even the pharmacists now, they don't know how it's made. And they don't have the idea how complicated it's and where the hidden ingredient come and non-halal ingredients come. This is why I'm fighting in halal pharmaceutical. I tell people every time the awareness in halal pharmaceutical is very limited in among the Muslim professional, not among the consumer. Even doctor and pharmacists don't have information about how this medicine is made and how critical is it. So I make a special article. My PhD was about this topic, and I make a special article in 2018. I make an index about many factors. So you can say there is necessity in this case, there is darura in this case, or there is no darura. If we have alternative, if this disease is from OTC or from life-saving disease. So I make index for doctors, so they can decide this one is we can give this medicine or we cannot. To tell you the truth, we should make a special training for each uh, branch of medicine, not for all medicines branches. Each branch, for example, GIT doctors who is
Mhm.
working with gastrointestinal tract, uh, someone who know about these medicines in GIT, he will come and give them, tell them this is not halal, this is not
Okay.
halal, this is not halal.
Okay.
In case you have alternative, you can prescribe. If in case not, you can use darura. So this is very important. You should have some courses for doctor for respiratory medicine, respiratory medicines, for cardiovascular medicine. All of them, we should have special training for each doctor alone. Okay, and you will be shocked that there is a lot of medicine have alternative, but we still
Yeah.
prescribe it. Muslim doctors still prescribe it. So it's not very difficult to find alternative, but we should learn first of all, educate our doctors and pharmacists, not the consumer. But it's good to educate the consumer because they will speak about with the doctor and they encourage them to learn also.
Yeah. You see, I'm happy you mentioned training, Dr. Muhammad Ali. And look, training on pharmaceutical, I work in the meat industry and I come across even Islamic scholars who do not understand. Look, they are very good in the scriptures. They understand the Quran, they understand the Sunnah, Hadith. But the problem is the science of what happens during slaughter. Many of them do not understand it. Now, even certification bodies, when you speak to them, they are supposed to certify the product, but they do not understand what actually happens when an animal is slaughtered. So I'm very happy you mentioned training. How do you think we can encourage a scholar, a certification body, to understand that they need to understand the science behind pharmaceutical? They need to understand the science behind slaughter. In your opinion, do you think it's gonna be a difficult thing, or will they be willing to participate in such trainings?
uh, they must participate. It, it's not their option
Yeah,
because if they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I
yeah,
cannot give fatwa about something I don't understand.
that is it.
This is the idea. In medicine, for example, I'll give you an example. In medicine, you study 6 years medicine. You cannot
Mhm.
go and be doctor in all fields.
No.
You should take specialization, and you study another 4 years to be eye doctor, or another 4 years to be ear, nose, throat doctors. Something like this. Fatwa is like this. There is a special fatwa specialization. We should make it halal mufti. Someone who is study more in food, or someone who study more in pharmaceutical. But he cannot be the same sheikh who will give fatwa for banks,
Everything.
for normal life,
Yeah.
and also for medicine. No, no. We need specialization also in fiqh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Ali. What is your final word to the global Muslim community? What do you think? Where do you see the Muslim community in 5 years? I just want you to summarize this in 1 minute. Our time is up. What do you expect us to do as Muslims to improve the way we produce food, the way we produce pharmaceutical products? Do you think this solution is in training? Do you think the solution is in standardization? What do you want to see in the next 5 years?
Yani, this question is should not be like this.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of enemy, you should not focus on one enemy and
Okay.
forget the other people. If you have
Mhm, mhm,
many
mhm.
lions around you, you should
Yeah.
not focus on one and forget the other.
Good
And
point.
we are a great ummah, 2 billion people. Everyone work in your field and help the Muslim in this field. But
Good.
to tell you the truth, in all field we have a lot of defects. We have a lot of problem in all fields. We need a lot of people who work. So this is a chance. You can look it as a chance. In
Yeah.
any field I am working, I can help the Muslim people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give me hasanat and he will reward me about this one. And it's fard kifaya for some Muslim. For example, it's not compulsory for me to find solution for the people working in veterinary, but it's compulsory for me to find solution for in pharmacy practice. It's fard kifaya for me. I should find halal medicine for Muslim people. It's fard for you to find good slaughtering method as a veterinary doctor. Okay, so everyone work in his field, and I think as Muslim consumer, if someone listen to us now, it's compulsory for you to look for halal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you to do it in your life. Do ibadah and look for the halal.
Inshallah. Look, on behalf of my listeners, my viewers, I would like to thank you massively, Dr. Ali, for your time, for attending this. But as I said, inshallah, next year, this is one of the best podcasts I've had because you are very practical. You telling people where to go, what to do, not just to sit back, but also to put an effort to research about certification bodies, about products, so that they can make informed decision about the products that they eat. So thank you once again. Thank you very much. Inshallah, I will come back. I'll definitely come back to you again in the
Inshallah.
future.
Thank you, and to all people who listen to us. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.